that is out there is saying that we are at a precipitous moment. How many of you would agree with that? We're at some sort of moment, we don't know what. We've got a lot of different thoughts. And if you look at Christianity, they're going to say one thing. Buddhism, Hindu, Wiccan, it doesn't matter. They're all going to say something, but they all do agree. It's now. So if you look at the word apocalypse, because that's the word that a lot of people use, apocalypse. And most people think apocalypse means destruction, death. Death all around. Everything's going to be crazy. Oh, there's going to be bombs and fires and blah, blah, blah. Did you know where apocalypse, the word, comes from? Actually, it comes from a Greek word. And that Greek word means a lifting of the veil or a revelation. It is a knowledge that will be revealed. A knowledge. Apocalypse, from the Greek words, means that there's going to be a lifting of the veil and knowledge is going to be revealed. Now, in this day and age, today, we're finding out new things all the time. If you were here last week, was it last week, Laura, that we brought up where Harvard had done the actual study to see, it said Jesus had a wife. There was something that was uncovered, and they actually, Harvard, did the study to make sure it was dated, and when it was dated, and it said Jesus had a wife. Now, believe it or not, there are a lot of religions that did belief systems that did believe that Jesus had a wife. And we'll go into that in a whole other section. Like I will put up the Last Supper and the picture and see how it's been moved around, and if you've read the Da Vinci Code or anything like that, you'll know what I'm talking about. But that's the unveiling of knowledge. The Pope said there's no such thing as hell. You guys, I don't know about you. I mean, I've always believed in my whole life that there was no such thing as a burning hell, that the Creator who loves me so much, loves me incredibly awesome. I mean, we talk about, how many of you, when you talk about the Creator, you know that the Creator is love? How many of you? The Creator is love. The Creator loves you, adores you, wants you to succeed, wants to give to you, wants to give that to you so much that the Creator put a spark of that creation in you for you to access so you could help create. You have that power. You have that gift. You do create with the Creator. Loves us so much. How many of you are parents? Okay, keep your hands up. How many of you have little ones that you love? Could be nieces, nephews, but you love some little people somewhere. Could be sisters, brothers. Raise your hand if you love some little people. Raise your hand if you love little people. Okay, if you don't love little people, get out. But you love little people. And you want to listen. Is there anything that you could do, that little person could do, that you would want them to be tortured forever and ever 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 to the end of time, which there is no end of time because you're an energy, so you're always going to be tortured forever and ever. So in my heart, I always kind of knew that wasn't. I always thought, well, I kind of feel like I might be in hell right this moment. Yeah, how many of you ever felt that way? I know, I got you. I understand the feeling. So when we're looking at the end of times, there are going to be some things that we perceive as negative because we're in human form. The fastest way for enlightenment to occur, for consciousness shift, is through trauma. It's the fastest way. So, if I was a creator, and I had been trying to get people to wake up, and trying, because I've given you free will, because if I didn't give you free will, I'd just make you and you had to worship me, right? And would that really mean anything to me? So I gave you free will, that you can choose to love me and have a relationship with me as the creator. Whatever you call that creator, Allah, Buddha, source, matrix, universe. Okay. But the Creator gave you free will to love and to choose if you were going to love the Creator back. Now, you have that free will. Now, if I was a creator and I've been pushing you, and you were the creator, think about it, if you were the creator of all things, you had such love for every creature, every walk of life, every culture, and you were trying to get them to wake up. You were trying to get them to remember. Remember who they are, really. Remember. And it had been years and years and years, and I'm not talking 100 years, I'm not talking 1,000 years, I'm talking thousands and thousands of years of trying to wake up. And it wasn't happening on the scale that was needed. There would come a point where you have to make a decision, right? Okay, well, we tried. So the fastest way to awaken consciousness is through trauma. So on a human form, we may see things and say, that's bad. That's traumatic. But from a spiritual perspective, at the end of that development, you look at the person and you go, wow, that person totally transformed during that trauma. And they are a completely different person. They have more compassion, more love, more peace in their hearts. They have less judgment, more understanding for other people that are going through different things. So I want you to know that some of the things we're going to talk about, it could be a little bit interpreted as negative. And I don't like to have negative conversations. So I'm going to preface this so that you can see it from a different light. So if you look at the sign of times, whether it's Christianity, Buddhism, Aztec, I Ching, Amazonian, you've got all of these that agree that we are in the precipitous time of something large occurring. Something is happening. So if you turn then to the Bible and look at what the Bible has to say, it says in Matthew, he answered them. Now this is when they were asking about the end of time, just to let you know. He answered them, when it is evening, you say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. Now, we don't teach our little ones this anymore, but my grandmother always taught me to look to the sky for certain signs of how the weather was going to be. Okay? And in the morning, it will be stormy today, for the sky is red and threatening. You know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but you cannot interpret the sign of the times. What is that saying? What does that mean? Could it just mean that there are things that are happening that are being talked about in every spiritual book that we just aren't grasping? That as a human person that we're busy with distraction, work, school, kids, husbands, wives, spouses, finances, mortgages, neighborhoods, neighborhood associations, what are they, homeowner associations. You're distracted. You got all this going on. You got Twitter, you got Facebook, you got the radio shouting at you. You're driving down the road, you think your mind's going to be quiet. Nope, you got billboards flashing at you. So you always got these distractions going on. So we're not looking. We're not looking to see, are these the times? Is this truly the time? My job here today is not to ask you to believe what I believe. My job today is ask you to ask yourself questions. Many will come to mislead you. Many will come to mislead you. We have been in these last days for a long time. For a very long time. Many will come to mislead you. Are we just believing what the masses believe? Are we questioning? Are we asking ourselves, does that resonate with us? Are we looking, whether we look to the Bible, to the Quran, to the Bhagavad Gita, to the Kabbalah, to the book of Catholicism, to the Mormon book, to the Wicked, whatever book you use, are you looking? Are you researching? Are you digging? Are you questioning? Don't believe what I say. Please do your research. Question and ask yourself. So in Revelation, it talks about a beast coming out of the sea, right? This big beast is going to come out of the sea, and it has all these different parts to it. It has 10 heads, right? And 7 horns. And in Revelation, it talks about that. This ginormous beast of some sort. In Revelation, it's a lot of symbology. Okay, so if you study the book, you'll know that in Revelation, very symbolic. So it talks about 10 heads. So there are some people that believe, this is a map, just to let you know. And it's of the 10 different controls of the world. Like governmental controls, and there are 10. Exactly 10, just to let you know. So there's a belief system that the beast that rises out of the sea, okay, is actually a symbology of all the different governments, that this beast has a different head for each government. All right? Is it possible? Is it possible? Well, it's symbology. We're not sure. So when we pray and we read and we meditate over whatever spiritual book you look at, you have to ask for help. You have to ask to tap into that divine spark that is in you to connect with the Creator so that you can see what the Creator meant. So the book of Revelation goes on and it talks about the seals, okay? And it talks about these seals, the trumpets blowing. And I'm going to stop here for a minute because I want you to see that it says, "Now I watched when the Lamb opened one of the seven seals, and I heard one of the four living creatures say with a voice like thunder, 'Come!' And I looked, and behold, a white horse, and its rider had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he came out conquering and to conquer. Then, when he opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature say, 'Come!' And out came yet another horse, bright red. Its rider was permitted to take peace from the earth, so that the people should slay one another, and he was given a great sword." I'm going to ask you something. How many of you know that we've been at war? Our history has been riddled with war. I will let you know war will win you nothing. You shall pick up the sword and you shall die with the sword. War will win you nothing. Do you want to know what will win you everything? Love. Love will win you everything. If you can win an argument, not because I won and you lost, but we both won because we did it in love. You can win a disagreement, not by, "I shall kill you or hurt you if you don't do it my way," but there is a talking and compromise. So have we seen these horses already being revealed? You have to look at history for this. And it goes on and it talks about this third seal that's going to be opened. And then, behold, another horse is going to come, and it's a black horse. Okay? And this black horse, the reason why I'm showing you all of this is because we're getting ready to go to other books and other belief systems. It says, it held in its hand a pair of scales. And it rode through, and it said, "A quart of wheat for a denarius." Now, back in the time, a denarius was a lot of money, just to let you know. A quart of wheat for a denarius. Okay, don't damage the oil and wine. I have a question. How many of you know that 25 years ago, that the prices of food, oil, gas was much lower? Much lower. And I'm not talking about a little bit. I'm talking about a lot. I'm talking about you could get a bread for like 5 cents. You could get milk for next to nothing. And now how much you pay? We've got organic eggs over there. Do you want to know how much this one? $7 for 12 eggs, you guys. 12. That's a lot. A quart of wheat for a denarius. A quart of wheat for a denarius. And it goes on, and it says the fourth living creature said, "Come and look." Yet another horse. So we're up to 4 horses, right? A pale horse. Now a pale horse could be, it's already said white. So a pale horse wouldn't be white, would it? Because it's already said white. It would be a lighter color, like a lighter yellow, something light. So a pale horse comes. And this horse comes with death and Hades. And it's given authority over a fourth of the earth. A fourth of the earth. To kill with the sword and with famine and with pestilence. So you've got 4 horses. All right? 4 horsemen. And it goes on. And it talks about all of the seals and the trumpets that will blow. And what each seal will look like. Talks about the earthquakes and the sun becoming black as sackcloth. Okay? The reason why I'm talking to you about the signs is because I'm going to show you some signs that are going on earth and astrologically. Because it said the signs will be given not just on the earth, but in heaven. Okay? So it talks about it becoming black as sackcloth, and the full moon becoming like blood, and the stars of the sky fell to the earth as a fig tree sheds its winter fruit when shaken by the gale. The sky vanished like a scroll that is being rolled up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place, and the kings of the earth, and the great ones, and the generals, and the rich, and the powerful, and everyone, slave and free, hid themselves in the caves and among the rocks and the mountains, calling to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him who is seated on the throne and from the wrath of the Lion, for the great day of their wrath has come, and who can stand? Can I stop for a moment? I want to ask you a question. In your heart, this is going to be something from your heart. If I know that I've been doing everything in my life that I could to the best of my ability to love my neighbor, to give, to walk on the right path, that I did have a relationship and do have a very strong relationship, intimate relationship with the Creator, and I know I've done that, am I going to be fearful? Am I going to be fearful? No, I have nothing to fear, right? I have absolutely nothing to fear. And this is where I want you to go. Because the masses right now, there's a lot of people, and I'm sorry, I'm going to slip my heels off because I'm a very down-to-earth person and the heels just don't work for me too well. Because right now, I will tell you what's going on. You better repent! You better repent, you better do it now, because you're going to go to hell. That is not what's going to occur, you guys. That is not what's going to occur. You are a being of light that the Creator made for greatness. The Creator did not make you to destroy you. The Creator gave you everything, including free will, so that you could have the free will choice to work towards your evolution, to your conscious development, to this unveiling of knowledge that you have within you. And you have it, and you have it, and you have it, and you have it, and you have it. You all have it. We all have this knowledge. So when you look at these scriptures, I want you to look at them and be careful. Because hate and discontentment and fear does not come from the Creator. Love, peace, serenity, harmony, kindness, goodness, purity, that all comes from the Spirit. So when you're looking at the book of Revelation, I want you to be careful, because you could look at it and just go right into fear. And that is not where the Creator wants you at all. At all. So let's go to the Quran. Let's see what the Quran has to say. The Quran is the book that the Islamic faith uses. Okay? Yes?
Excuse me. I'm 17 years old right now, and I'm going to play radio games sometime in the future. Mom tells a lie about me, and she's going to hell someday.
You just not tell a lie on you.
I'm denouncing you.
Denouncing you. But if there's no hell, like there's not a fiery hell, what we have to know is that in our consciousness, how many of you have ever done anything wrong that you thought was wrong? Raise your hand. Didn't you put yourself through hell? Didn't you beat yourself up for that? Didn't you beat yourself up for that? Did you beat yourself up? Did you beat yourself up when you did something wrong? Do you understand? We've got to look at things from a different set of eyes. So when we start looking at all these spiritual books, what we do know is that all are saying the same thing. So the Quran talks about, again, the sun. The sun is folded up, okay? When the stars, okay, did we just talk about stars a few minutes ago in the Bible? We talked about the sun being black as sackcloth, right? We talked about the stars falling.